Hey everybody, in today's video we're going to be talking about a basic introduction to related rates and understanding the steps taken to solve these types of problems. Now, the goal is to find a rate of change with respect to time of one quantity by using a rate of change with respect to time of a related quantity. Now, this may sound like something familiar, and that would be implicit differentiation, and that's a topic that we're going to be utilizing a lot in these types of related rates problems. If you're not sure what that is, I recommend checking out my previous video on implicit differentiation. For example, let's say if we want to figure out how much one side of a triangle is changing by, that rate of change would also affect how much another side of the same triangle is changing by. And this would be an example of a related rates problem. Now, here are some quick tips on solving these types of problems. But in the next video, we're going to be looking at an actual related rates problem. Number one would be to draw a picture. First of all, visualize the situation and choose variables for the unknowns and write down the things that you have information about and the variables that you don't have information about. And an important part would be to write an equation relating the variables to one another. For example, maybe writing a volume equation, maybe writing a Pythagorean theorem equation. Remember, if the quantity is changing, it must be related to a variable. It must be x, y, z, whatever, but it must be some variable. But if the quantity is constant, then you can relate it to the number that they say it is. So just plug in that number, because remember that the derivative of a constant number is 0, and less variables is always helpful. Now, if there's too many variables and not enough equations, try finding other ways to relate the variables to one another. Try finding out a different equation that you could write, because a lot of times you would need to write more than just one equation. And then you have to implicitly differentiate both sides with respect to t, which is respect to time. So in these types of equations, you have to figure out its relationships with respect to time. And last but not least, you would have to substitute in the respective values and solve for the problem. Now we're going to be looking at actual related rates problems in the next video.